Okay, I pressed the record button.
It is recorded.
It is. I see the little numbers counting up.
Yeah.
So we're abusing precious time.
Yeah. All abusing 30 hours.
All the abuse. Yeah, I don't think we're going to talk that long.
I mean, we're making a run for it.
Yeah, so far we are. We're well on our way.
We are
not getting around to anything that we should be talking about.
We came out here to do a podcast about that, and we're going to talk. We're just going to end up just talking.
Yeah. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Zero Cred Podcast. I'm Bryan.
I'm Warren.
We are Johnless again.
And we also have zero credibility.
We have zero.
Opinions.
We do. God,
we do.
I like the way you say it better.
Yeah, because I got that voice.
You got that. Yeah, you got a good voice.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, my God. All right. Well, this has turned into a different kind of podcast. We're going to change the thing to 18 and up. Oh, wait. It's already at 18 and up, I think, actually. So we're going to stay right where we're at. This episode, we're going to be talking about WWE Summerslam.
The lamest party of the year.
Woo!
Woo! So great.
Oh, yay.
I'm so happy.
I'm going to start this off by saying, fuck you, WWE. All right. Now, this has nothing to do with the podcast. Or this has everything to do with the podcast. This has nothing to do with the pay-per-view.
You were blinded with rage.
I am. I'm not happy. I came into this this pay-per-view with a lot of with a very high salt level because we went through. Okay, so for those of you out there that don't know, my wife and I take care of her father, my father-in-law. He had a stroke. He's mildly disabled. He can't walk, so we take care of him. And he has his own room and his own TV and his own happy area set up. And he is a huge wrestling fan. So we've always, he watched the pay-per-view, and then my wife and I will watch it in our living room because we're pretty avid wrestling fans.
It's a family thing.
It's a family thing, yes. So why I don't, out of nowhere, WWE decided that they only want one account streaming one stream, period. That is it. So fuck you, WWE, for not caring enough about your fans to not even provide them with good storylines. Okay. But B, you also don't give a shit about families with some special needs. Netflix cares. With a basic Netflix account, you can stream on 2 separate devices at the same time.
Really?
Yes.
I'm by myself.
You're by yourself.
And if I'm not by myself, then me and my lady are watching together. So
right.
I don't ever need it.
Yeah, on the basic Netflix account, you can stream on 2 separate devices at the same time. I pay for the family plan on Netflix, so I can stream on 843.
Dang.
It's actually 4, but it feels like that because I never use it. But yeah, for the family plan, you get 4K streaming and you get 4 separate devices streaming the same account at once.
And for the family plan on WWE,
you get 1, bitch, and you better all fit in the same room. Now, normally, and I know that's probably a valid argument that some people are thinking is like, well, why don't you just watch it with him? It's like, well, hey, he's got a small room, man. We don't have a big mansion. We got a
I think that would be even worse if you had a big mansion.
If we had a big mansion?
Because then you'd have to travel to his room to watch it.
Yeah. So let's go back. Fuck you, WWE. Fuck you very much. I was so mad I tweeted that I was going to cancel. I'm probably not. But fuck you, WWE, and I mean that.
It probably wouldn't be good for business.
For me to cancel?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, we're doing this.
Yeah, but we just won't talk about WWE.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to cancel. I'm just going to bitch about it like a fucking impotent bastard. So now let's get on to the meat of the episode.
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay. Do you want to talk about the kickoff show?
Not really, but we probably should.
Let's highlight some of it.
Trash.
You
said highlight.
That's a low light actually. But well, let's talk about first we had Drew Gulak versus Oni Lorcan. Drew Gulak won. It was boring as fuck. It was a shitty match.
Yep.
Then we had Buddy Murphy against Apollo Crews. Buddy Murphy won because of disqualification because of
Rowan.
Yeah, Rowan came out, kicked the shit out of Buddy Murphy for talking.
Some magic happened.
And then otherwise, fairly decent match. It was all right. It wasn't great.
Yeah, the crowd wasn't into it.
No, but that's
the kickoff show.
Yeah, they weren't there to see Buddy fucking Murphy.
No.
I still think he looks like he should be pumping gas and washing windshields at a gas station in a small town.
Well, at least he's not doing that.
Yeah, I'm happy for him. Yeah. Anywho, Elias came out, sang a little ditty talking shit about Toronto, and then Edge came out
and speared him.
Speared the shit out of him.
Great.
Speared him into SummerSlam 2020. I'm gonna say that a lot.
But then
tonight.
he time traveled back.
Then he time traveled back.
Yeah.
That was part of. Yeah, once again, that was all part of the kickoff show.
I think we had the women's tag team championships last.
That's right.
That was kind of the end of it.
Yeah, that was an accident. It was another shitty match. God dang, this started out bad, didn't it?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, you got championships being defended on a kickoff show.
Yeah, that tells you how poorly the WWE has handled the women's tag team
titles. Yeah,
it's so bad.
They finally took them off the Iconics just to try to do something, but I don't know how well it's gonna. How much more you're gonna get from?
Do you think the damage has been done? Do you think they can save that championship?
No,
you don't think so, really?
Not even if you bring back Trish Stratus and Lita and let them win, and then make them wrestle Sasha Banks and Bayley 70 times. It's not gonna happen. I'm
on the fence with that. Part of me agrees with you, and part of me thinks it can still be salvaged.
No, it can't.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, but I can see where you're coming from. Well, that's why I said I'm on the fence about it.
Well, the biggest thing is, like we talked about on the last episode that we did for WWE, there's no division.
Right.
Like the tag team division for the women is trash.
Yeah.
So how can you save the titles when you don't have anything to...
Well, it goes back, like, I mean, there is a possibility, and it would pretty much take what you already talked about, and they'd have to combine the brands.
Yeah.
And that would be the one thing that could save it. I think you're right. They're not going to do that, though. I think that would make too much sense for them to do that, so they're not going to. I'm done talking about that. It's fucking it sucked. Now we get into the actual SummerSlam event. This is, this first fucking match. They bring out Becky Lynch against Natalya. The first fucking match is a championship match.
Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but
it doesn't make any sense to me. It's God. I hated this so much, and not because of the talent involved, because I think Becky Lynch is very talented. I think she's one of the best talents on the women's side right now. I think she's top tier. I don't think Natalya's bad. I think she's upper tier. I don't think she's great. But she comes from a very good pedigree. She comes from wrestling royalty. I want to cheer for her. I have a hard time doing it, though.
Yeah.
But then they top it off. They throw in this very forced, horrible storyline, and they only did it because Natalya's from Toronto.
Right. That's pretty much why she got the opportunity.
Yeah. And of course she lost. It wasn't I don't think it was a bad match, though. Technically, it was pretty sound.
I think the kickoff for it that sets you off in the right direction is that they made it a submission match, given that these two women's highlight move is a submission move.
Right.
And you're like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, it did. It makes sense. I think the match itself made sense. I hate the placement of it. I don't think it should have opened the show.
Yeah.
I have my pick for what should have opened the show, and it happened much later. But
we agree.
Yeah.
It turned out to be, I guess, a good match.
It was a good match. The match itself was fundamentally sound. I mean, like I said, they're both technically pretty good.
We got at least a cool spot, which was a sharpshooter on the top.
Yeah, that was cool.
Rope thing, turnbuckle. Yeah. That was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool. That was. And Becky Lynch put her in the sharpshooter,
Yeah,
and
put her in
Natalya
the
put her in the
disarmer.
disarmer. You know, I mean, and of course they had to hit those notes,
Right.
and they did, and that's fine. You know, I think when you have to do something and you do it, you do it, and that's good. More credit. I give them credit.
You do it.
But they did sell the match relatively well. I just hated the placement of it, and once again, it just comes back to really poor creative, because this is one of I think what felt like 32 very forced storylines to appeal to Toronto.
Right.
And I don't like that
they had a lot of people basically show up.
Yeah,
or be put.
That's why Edge was there. That's why Edge was there.
Yeah, he didn't have.
He's from Toronto. Yeah, he just showed up. He's like, "Oh, cool. I'm from Canada. I'm gonna kick your ass, Elias." I mean, you don't need to have that reason to kick Elias's ass. There's plenty of reasons to do it.
Yeah.
So, but but hey, let's move on to the next match, which was the. I'm sorry, I read it and I started laughing. The Goldberg versus Dolph Ziggler match. Goldberg. Yeah, we didn't start out like I said we should. I totally said I wanted us to start out with making music. This is mine. But what was I gonna do? Goldberg. Okay, Goldberg against Dolph Ziggler. I don't think anybody is surprised that Goldberg won this.
Yeah, because he's not man enough to face him like a man.
Yeah, and then it got really ridiculous. I do, but the thing is, I really like Dolph Ziggler as a heel.
The moment I think it was the second time he came back.
Yeah.
And Dolph was like, "Cause you not man enough to," and then the music came on. He just like dropped the mic.
He's like, "Oh God,
when
will I learn to shut my dumb ass out?" Yeah. Okay. So for those that didn't watch, Goldberg came out. The match started good. Like, the match actually started really good with Dolph Ziggler kicking him square in the face.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, shit, this is actually all right. And then it just ended. Goldberg speared the fuck out of Dolph. It was a good-looking spear, though.
Yeah, it looked like Ray Lewis.
Yeah, sold very well by Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
And then he picked him up, hammered him, pinned him. Hammered him. Pinned him, and then left. The entrance, Goldberg's classic entrance, took longer than the actual match. He busts out of that like he was on his way to Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah. Arnold was with him.
John Oates, you're next. Like, oh Lord.
Oh yeah. So then he starts to leave, and the Dolph Ziggler grabs a mic. He's like, I knew you wouldn't face me like a man. Like, I don't know what the fuck did you think he faced you like, a truck? So he came back.
He faced him like a mirror.
Yeah, he came back, speared him again, then left, and then he got all the way out the ring. The music stopped playing. People were going to get popcorn. People were going to get nachos. People were going to the bathroom. Dolph Ziggler grabbed the mic again. Anyone can get lucky twice.
It was really ridiculous, but it was so funny.
It was funny. Oh God! And then
the music came like on, and he was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, he dropped the mic with the He drops the mic like, "Oh God, what have I done to myself?" Goldberg comes out, stands him up, taps him like, yeah, good. Then starts to walk away, and then he bounces off the ropes, spears him again, and then leaves. It took as long as a good match from Goldberg's intro to the end. Finally, took as long as a good solid match, but it was just that. It was what, 2 kicks to the face, 3 spears, and a jackhammer. Not in that order.
The only thing that would have made that better is if Goldberg's music really was like high pitched. Goldberg. So then every time he came, you can't face me like a man. Goldberg.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. I'm laughing too. My stomach hurts. My face hurts from laughing right now. Oh,
Goldberg, Goldberg. It's just because it's just ridiculous.
It was not good. It was not good.
Oh man.
Okay, so I guess next we'll that sucked. Overall the match was bad, of course, which we knew it was going to be probably.
But it was a big moment for Goldberg to kind of redeem. He looked better than he did at the Super Showdown or whatever.
He did.
Called.
I think Goldberg actually did show up. He looked pretty good actually. We're gonna skip the Drake pumps up New Day, quote unquote Drake. That was just kind of
that was like a skit thing.
Yeah. Then AJ Styles versus Ricochet. That's for the U.S. Championship. That was a solid match. It was really solid actually.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody was predicted was surprised by the outcome.
Nobody was predicted the outcome by the situation.
We talked about this before we even started. The damn thing was done. Why do I do auditory hobbies? I don't understand why I do it. Because I can't speak.
Yeah.
I do rough. This. I need to stop talking. I need to get into some sort of hobby that requires me to maybe. I think I'm going to go to mime school.
Mime school?
Mime school. Because then I can barely speak.
Learn anything.
But I will learn how to do something that doesn't require me to try to speak because I keep stuttering.
Well.
So okay. AJ Styles versus Ricochet. It was a good match, that didn't surprise me that it was going to be a good match. They gave it a lot more time than I thought they were going to give it.
Yeah,
I really thought they were going to. They kind of did that.
That was kind of the theme, I feel like, for this pay-per-view. A lot of these matches ran longer than I thought that they would give or should have been running. So
yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, but I'm glad they gave them plenty of time because these guys can work pretty well. You know, it was a good match. AJ did win. He retained the United States Championship. But it was a good match. Yeah, I don't think you got anything else you want to say about it. I mean,
no, I mean,
it's pretty.
It
pretty
ended the way you would expect.
Yeah, and of course, after the match, AJ had the OC pick him up and thrash him for a little bit,
right?
To cement AJ's heel turn,
right?
I think is actually going pretty well. I kind of like it.
I mean, AJ is one of those guys. He can go back and forth.
He can do both pretty well.
And so when you pair him with Luke and Gallows, and you say, you guys go out there and just do what you do. They're going to give you quality content.
Yeah, I agree.
And you got Ricochet out there.
Nothing against Luke and those guys because they're pretty good. But this is probably the most interesting they've been in a little bit, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, and that's the problem is we have a lot of guys who can work.
Yeah.
And they just don't get used, or it's like they have a time where they get used, and then after that, it's nothing.
Right.
And so, like, right now, they're serving the purpose of having, like, this team that has titles, and they're running the table. And then as soon as they, like, strip them of the belts, it's like, what are you going to have them do then? Yeah.
And I think that it's a good it makes for a good faction, and a good faction, a good heel faction. I think the WWE needed, and it's kind of filling that a little bit. I kind of dig it. I do. Yeah. I kind of dig the OC. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we got that. That was good. That was pretty good. It was one of the high points because we hadn't had any yet. And then it goes to another low point. We got the SmackDown Women's Championship, Bayley against Ember Moon. I really thought this was going to be a better match.
I hate that the one time Ember Moon gets a chance to do something and be on pay-per-view, it's in a match that doesn't matter.
It's exactly
like you try to create this storyline between the two of them, but it didn't make any sense.
No,
like it was like Ember Moon wanted to prove her wrong because she took what Bayley said as kind of disrespect, that this would be an easy win, but like Bayley was trying to make it come off as like I see her as a competition, I want to give her a shot
Yeah.
and test myself.
Yeah.
And then they kind of had this whole like back and forth where like Ember Moon attacked her, she attacked Ember Moon, this whole thing, but it never mattered. Like I was like, I don't get, why are they wrestling?
No,
Like,
not at all.
There's no storyline behind it. There's no like, oh, Ember Moon won a tournament, so now she has to wrestle her. And at least that, I'm like, all right, cool. She earned a spot. She wasn't given the spot. Like, she beat some people and she won, and now she's a challenger.
Right.
I don't always need the storyline of like, oh, they used to be best friends and then she turned on her. I don't need all that. You don't always need like an in-depth story. It just needs to make sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so like, I didn't care that she was wrestling her for the belt. I don't care whether or not she wins. I don't like, there was nothing about the match that was like, oh, take the belt off of Bayley and give it to Ember. Why?
Right.
What have you been doing with Ember that would make me want to watch her as a champion?
Exactly. Yeah.
Nothing.
Which sucks because I think Ember Moon is fantastic. I think
Yeah.
she's talented as hell. I was really, really hoping this was going to be a better match. But honestly, it just, you're right. There was no connection. There's no.
And it just and it ran.
I fell
long.
asleep.
It ran so long
I
that
did.
I was like,
I fell asleep during.
I was
this
like,
match.
why are we still wrestling?
It was not good. It was.
By the time you got to the end, you didn't care.
I didn't care. Yeah, I didn't care.
I mean,
Like-
she hit like a huge Bailey to belly suplex off the top rope, and
Yeah.
I was like, thank God it's over.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't like, oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, you were just ready for it to be done. A lot of these matches, I was just like, can we just end it so we can go to the next thing?
Which brings us to our next match. This was on paper. I'm gonna say that on paper. About 3 days ago, I was looking at this card and I was thinking, this isn't too bad actually. And then the execution of it has hit, and I've just been, every time I look at the black and white, and I'm like, okay, this isn't bad. But the black and white always takes out the most important thing, the story that's being told.
Right.
Because there's just nothing. There's just no real connecting story that's being told. And that's so important when it comes to watching these things.
I mean, this match of all the matches probably had the most build up.
It did, yeah.
Story
I agree. It did.
And I still was like, I don't care.
Yeah, because realistically we knew the outcome.
Right. Because and that's the result that we talk about, where it's like they on SmackDown, Kevin Owens was like, be a man and put your career on the line too. And then he was just like, no. And I was like, well, then this match means nothing.
Yeah, it meant nothing. Exactly.
I was like, it's not the same. It's not the problem is, so if it's me, Shane has a faction. Why are you wrestling all the time? If you're not going to put your career on the line in this match, then what I would have done is I would have been like, all right, you're going to wrestle Drew McIntyre, and if you can't beat him, then you lose your job. And then you have Shane out there running interference.
Right.
You don't have to pull that Elias special guest referee.
Oh
shit.
yeah, that's stupid.
And then he, Shane and Drew try everything they can to screw Kevin Owens out of the job, but then he pulls it out and wins. And it's like, cool, whatever. But I don't want to watch 67,000-year-old Shane McMahon wrestle Kevin Owens. I don't want to see that. I am not paying a monthly subscription to watch a pay-per-view where Shane McMahon wrestles Kevin Owens.
This late in the night too.
Man.
This should have been like the second match.
It shouldn't have been a match.
It shouldn't have been a match. I agree with you there completely and wholeheartedly. But it was a match. And it should have been the second match. So, yeah, obviously Kevin Owens against Shane McMahon. Now Kevin Owens, of course, wins, which we knew was going to happen.
Right.
And it was just It was average. The executions
as normal.
As normal, yeah.
As
there was
expected.
Elias came out to be a guest.
It
was not a referee. What did they call him? Let me see.
Outside enforcer.
Exactly. Yeah, but he was wearing a tore up referee shirt, and he distracted the ref, and he distracted Kevin Owens and got in his head a little bit. Oh, cool, and then it had your typical, oh god, the ref got knocked down by Kevin Owens on accident, so the ref didn't see, these guys breaking the rules. Oh god, taboo, that never happens in professional wrestling. And
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm mad because this. You're right. I mean, I'm mad because I'm tired of fucking looking at Shane McMahon. But Kevin Owens obviously pulls it off, stuns him, pins him. They win. Shane McMahon, loses. Blah blah blah. Fucking blah. Who gives a shit? God. And, okay, then we got this match, which was a little bit better than I thought it was going to be. Actually, the Charlotte Flair against Trish Stratus match, which, in my opinion, should have opened the show.
Yeah,
this should have opened the show.
Probably.
But it wasn't bad. It was a good match. I mean, of course, you're gonna get Charlotte Flair is really, really good. I mean, and Trish Stratus is I mean, she's a little older, but she looks really good. She looked good in the ring. Yeah, you could tell she was a little rusty. She was kind of getting carried a little bit by Charlotte.
That's probably why they paired her with Charlotte.
Probably, yeah. But it was a decent match. It wasn't bad.
Yeah,
but it didn't really mean anything, of course.
Yeah, no. I mean, it was one of those just like supremacy battles.
Yeah.
I am the supreme lady.
Right.
No, I am the supreme lady.
Well, it happened because Trish Stratus is from Canada. I don't know if she's from Toronto, but she is definitely from Canada, right?
Yeah, is Toronto, Ontario?
Yeah, she is. She's from Canada. I know that for a fact.
We have deciphered.
Yeah. So
she's from Canada.
That's why that's probably a big reason why. And then you were talking about it earlier, and we'll hit it after we talked about all the matches. I want you to tell me what you said, what you thought about the whole appealing to the home crowd thing.
Okay, yeah.
So, but yeah, Charlotte won. Charlotte did defeat Trish Stratus, which I don't think that surprised too many people either.
I wanted Charlotte to win. I didn't want Trish to win.
Yeah, I did too.
You got to stop burying your talent that's going to be here every week.
Right, exactly.
You don't make people believe that these people deserve these title shots. So this is the problem. So when people don't win matches, you don't get title shots.
That's right.
When you don't win football games, you don't get to play for championships. When you don't win basketball games, you don't make the playoffs.
That's correct.
People in the WWE lose all the time and then get title shots.
Yes.
So it's like, have them win like 5, 6, 7 matches, just regular matches that don't mean shit. Have them win those matches.
Right,
and then you go, oh, Charlotte's been on a roll lately. She's probably going to get a title shot soon. Then you go, oh, Charlotte versus Trish Stratus. She beats Trish Stratus in the #1 contenders match at SummerSlam. She goes on to the next pay-per-view to wrestle Bayley, who defeated Ember Moon, who had won a tournament previously to become the #1 contender to fight her. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. People are winning matches and getting title shots, and now I want to see these people because they've earned the shots that they've gotten. So she beat Trish Stratus. That's a solid win.
Yeah, right.
Despite the fact that she was coming from retirement, but it's a solid win.
Right.
It was not a fluke match. It wasn't she came out and 20 seconds and then won. It was she came out there, they wrestled, they had some spots, and then she made her submit, and I'm like, all right, Charlotte's starting to roll. Now let's give her a couple more matches here and there where she pulls it out, maybe throw her in a tag match where she shines, so even if the team loses that she's on, it's like, okay, she was doing her thing. And then you can put her back in the title picture. But I'm just tired of these people like, oh, we just need somebody to wrestle this pay-per-view, so you're just going to get a title shot.
Yeah, it all goes back. It keeps going back. You see the trend, guys. It goes back to creative. It all goes back to creative.
Yeah.
It really does. That's how devastatingly important good creative is.
Oh, man, yeah.
So let's go on to the next match, which was great, and then it ended. WWE Championship, Kofi Kingston versus Randy Orton, and it was good. It was good. And then it ended. That was so shitty. I'm sorry. I can't believe they ended it the way they did.
There must be an angle.
Yeah.
Because I don't, because I'm like, or maybe you just felt like
Maybe you work that angle on something that's not a fucking pay-per-view.
Like a
Monday Night Raw or a SmackDown, yeah. Don't you think? Maybe that's what you use those times for, because that's, to me, what they're fucking supposed to be for. And then the pay-per-view is supposed to be the ultimate payoff.
Yeah.
That's why we're paying money for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to pay money and then watch a fucking double count out. That was stupid, man. That was stupid.
We know they're taking an angle because they took the angle of Randy Orton enticed Kofi by bringing his family into it. Right. Which is false, because Kofi brought his family into it because he put him on the front row. He put him on the
front row, yeah.
Yeah. That's
you said
stupid.
It. Yeah, they weren't at Raw. They weren't at SmackDown. They weren't at.
Yeah, they weren't at. They were only at WrestleMania.
Yeah, they weren't at Extreme Rules.
They weren't at his picnic.
No. What? Yeah,
that's the new pay-per-view you didn't get to see.
Oh, okay.
It was before you subscribed.
Yeah, a year ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but they weren't there.
They weren't there.
That's the point.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, you're running an angle, but why run it at this paper? Like, and I guess we're somewhat hypocritical because they did this kind of stuff back in the day. They used pay-per-views to run angles.
This is true.
But most of the time, there was payoff.
Yeah.
It was a payoff. Maybe you kept the angle going after the pay-per-view, but most of the times there were payoffs. Like when they had situations where like it was Stone Cold versus, upper management. Perfect example. For like Backlash 2000, they had the whole thing where it was like Stone Cold, going against upper management. The Rock was caught in the crossfire because he had a title shot against Triple H. And so then they were like, well, he's going to be in your corner and we're going to be in Triple H's corner. And then The Rock was like, I don't really give a fuck who's in my corner. I'm going to win the title. And then something happened with Stone Cold and upper management. He got arrested, so he wasn't going to be there. And then right when it seemed like The Rock was going to lose, his music hit. Boom. And he come walk, crowd's going nuts. He's got a chair. He's beating everybody up. The ref was all down and stuff, and he's beating him up. It was another qualification match anyway. But then that happens, then The Rock ends up winning. Then he comes out the next night, and he takes the angle, and he's like thanking Stone Cold for doing what he said he was going to do.
Right.
But there was payoff in that. They built it up, and then there was a payoff. That doesn't happen nowadays. I mean, they build stuff up for like, 3 weeks,
right,
2
exactly.
weeks.
I just get the feeling that come Monday night and Tuesday nights, when we watch Raw and SmackDown, this whole thing's just going to disappear.
Yeah, I mean, unless they come back with a Randy Orton thing. But the other issue is it leads us into just like the next pay-per-view, the same matches.
Right.
And it's like, space it out.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I mean, if you build up a storyline, which comes back to the fact that we have too many pay-per-views, because we need more time in between these pay-per-views. That way, way we build up story, and you're building up characters, and then you have room to like show off your mid-card people,
right,
and bring up new people. And then still let your stars carry the load, and then pay it off at a pay-per-view. And they don't do that now. And then there's always so many things happening that you get to pay-per-view, and it's like 4 hours long. By the time you get to the end, you don't even care.
No.
And it's like, Jesus Christ. Like, what are we doing?
Oh God!
But yeah, in a double count out, we'll see what the angle is that they take.
Yeah, if they address it and if they keep it going, but I just, like I said, I don't see them doing that because Randy Orton just, I mean, I'm a huge Randy Orton fan, you know that.
Yeah.
But he's getting up there. He's not around a whole lot,
right?
So unless he's wanting to stick around and keep this angle working, then that's great, that'd be awesome because, hey, I'd be happy to see more Randy Orton. I love Randy Orton, but I just see this being, that was a match when I knew that it could be a good match because the two of them work real good, and then they did that because it would be interesting, and then it's just going to be gone. That's just my prediction. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, I hope you're wrong too, but
so
with the way it's been going, you just never know.
Yeah. Well, let's get on to some good stuff. In my opinion, this is really good. We had Bray Wyatt debuting his new persona as the Fiend against Finn Balor. And in my opinion, this was fucking awesome. I thought this was awesome.
Yeah, this was a good way to get him over, especially with the news that you gave me.
Yeah, because I believe what we've been reading is that Finn Balor's taking some time off. He's taking a couple months off.
So
at least that's been the talk. That's been the talk that we've been reading about. And
I just want WWE to just lie and be like, Finn Balor got fucked up in that match against The Fiend. He's injured. So then when he comes back, you're like, oh shit, Finn Balor's back.
That'd
like
be dope.
The Fiend will be wrestling, he wins,
right?
And then you just hear, dun 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 dun, and then he just comes out.
See,
but here's the deal: he comes out. And you can't do this because he wears all that makeup. But he comes out like normal Finn Balor, and the lights cut off, and they come back on, and he's like the demon.
They'd have like a crew of like 12 people hiding underneath them.
They just get Barry Allen to do it.
Yeah.
But like, or you do like a thing where it's like a video of him walking into the arena, and they're like, "Oh my God, that's Finn Balor! He's back! He's back!" And then he's like walking out normal, and then his music comes on, but then when he comes out, he's the demon.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
That'd be dope.
That'd be dope. He's like, mind games, bitch. But let's focus a little more on the Fiend here. I know that we're going to talk about it, but I really want to talk about it because we finally got to see what his interest was going to be. His music is dope. I like it. I like all of everything about this gimmick.
I do too.
And I think we need more of it.
This reminds me of early 90s WWE when they were a little darker at times. Yeah. And I think Bray Wyatt is selling the shit out of this gimmick so well.
Very well.
And I'm a Bray Wyatt fan. I liked his last gimmick, which was cool too. But he came out with this dope ass lantern that was a fucking head, and it looked like his head.
Yeah, and on the lantern.
The mouth is open with this big ass light, and
I've been slain by myself.
It is so cool looking, and it's the whole tagline is "Let him in," let the Fiend in. And he came out, and it's fucking cool. That mask is so cool. Designed by special effects master and legend Tom Savini. If you guys don't know, Tom Savini is responsible for a lot of really, really amazing horror special effects. Like he helped with the work on like Friday the 13th and stuff like that. I've got his autograph on a Jason hockey mask.
They kind of rhymed.
Yeah. Didn't plan for it, but sometimes greatness just happens, Warren.
Thank y'all for coming out.
We're going to end on that dumbass note. But yeah, I love the selling of this gimmick, and I just read where they were, because we got the CBS results pulled up because we're just kind of using that to kind of remind us of the order, and they said he came out to a Marilyn Manson like remix theme song against Balor, who was aptly dressed in all white. And I didn't think about it, but you know what? That did look good against that.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that. So CBS Sports, thank you for that for the insight.
Yeah.
It was a good match. It was a really good match.
Yeah, they worked.
They worked really well.
Really well.
The Finn lost to the Fiend. The Fiend is using Mankind's mandible claw. Yeah,
that's how he won.
Yeah, that's how he won. And I love it. I just do. I love everything about it. He looks really good. He sells it like he's having an inner conflict within himself in the ring.
Right.
And he's really selling it really well. I love it. Everything about that match I thought was great. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I just like that it's a legit gimmick. I mean, we have gimmicks in the WWE, people that have personas and stuff, but this is like a legit gimmick.
There hasn't been a wrestler sell a gimmick like this well since The Undertaker sold The Undertaker.
Yeah,
in my opinion, and or maybe Kane selling Kane.
Right. Yeah.
And this really reminds me of how great it is when a good performer really dives into the character and the gimmick and really gives it his all. And that to me is why I think the world of Bray Wyatt. I just think he's amazing. He's really getting into this. He's selling it. He is connected to this. I don't know if this was his idea.
Yeah,
it could have been. I'm not gonna lie. I don't see Vince McMahon coming up with this shit.
Yeah, not at all.
So I really am of the belief that this was probably Bray Wyatt's idea, and he sold it to Vince McMahon, and McMahon was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
And thank God he did, because I think that this could turn out to be one of the most interesting things in the WWE right now.
Right.
So mad props to Bray Wyatt for selling it so well, and he's just a good performer anyway. So you're going to get good work from him in the ring as well. So let's move on to which is this is it. This is the last one.
Okay,
and look, we're not the only one, man. Look what they gave it.
They gave it a B. Was that B+?
B+? Yeah. So
okay, so let's Brock Lesnar.
Okay, the match is Seth Rollins against Brock Lesnar.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Yes. But yeah, so Seth Rollins wrestles Brock Lesnar.
Yes, he does.
I want to say that one more time.
Yes.
Seth Rollins wrestled Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar wrestled back.
I know. How fucking crazy.
Listen. I am blown away by what I
flabbergasted.
Okay, so the way he kicked it off, he was like, we're gonna circle the ring and I'm gonna just start beating the fuck out of you. And I was like, all right, like he started the same way with like Daniel Bryan, he started the same way with AJ Styles, and I was like, it makes you think he's gonna wrestle because he puts him in the corner, he's throwing knees, he's kind of hitting him in the back, doing just kickoff match stuff. You're not just going right to your coup de grace of moves. And then he's working Seth Rollins. He's working his ribs because his ribs are injured. I'm like, that makes sense. Good job, Brock Lesnar. Yeah. And then he finally goes for a suplex. And I was like, shit. And then he does it. And then Seth Rollins is like, psych. And he lands on his feet.
He flips out of it.
Yeah. And then he kicks him in the face and then he stomps him. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then he covers them and he kicks out. But then it led to a string of suplexes that did not work because he continued flipping.
He flipped out of them, man.
And it made it exciting because I've never seen anybody do that.
Right.
And so, not necessarily flip out of a suplex, but just
against Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Once he starts doing the suplexes, it's over usually. And so it started to make for a match. And then Brock Lesnar brings it back and he's doing his thing, and I'm like, oh, okay, we're getting ready to just suplex. He's going to win with like a couple of F5s. But then it continued to turn into a match. They were working the outside of the ring. They worked the inside of the ring. He was putting him on the ropes and putting his knee on his back of his neck, choking him out. All kind of he just was wrestling him. I couldn't believe it.
It was amazing. I was still flabbergasted. I was like, because, typically when you watch Brock Lesnar enter the ring, you're just, all right, cool. Here we're going to see a bunch of suplexes and an F5, and then he's going to walk away.
And then one of the big key moments for me was he usually suplexes and then he releases.
Right.
But he got really upset because Seth Rollins almost beat him a couple of times up to that point. And he's like taking his gloves off and he kicks him and he's slowly taking his like a badass. And then he's like, I'm about to work you, and then he suplexes him, but he keeps it locked.
Right.
And now you're like, oh shit, Seth, what are you gonna do? But you normally don't get that because you're like, this is like the 57th suplex of the match, but it wasn't, and so I was like, oh well, he locked it in. Yeah. And Seth, you're not flipping out. What's how we're gonna play it? But we did get really cool spots in the match, which just it was crazy.
We don't usually get that though, and that's why it was such a pleasant surprise, and it went over really well. Yeah, it was crazy. Like I was very surprised at how into it the fans were getting too.
I was surprised how into it I was.
Yeah, I know.
Like I was actually I was watching it. Like I don't think I was on my phone at all that whole match.
No, me neither. Yeah,
because I was like, I was waiting for the moment of like, okay, now it's a Brock Lesnar match, but it wasn't. It was a good match. Was it the best match? Probably not. Like, just we've seen better matches, but for who we had involved in the match, it was really good.
It was really good. Yeah,
I mean, I never thought I would ever see Brock Lesnar get frog splash through
an announcer table
for the rest of his career. So like that was, I was like, man, I don't know if he just decided, you know what, I'm gonna commit, retiring from UFC, I'm gonna commit to this business, and I'm gonna work.
I hope so, man.
Because the thing is, I've never had a problem with Brock Lesnar as far as like before he left for the UFC. I liked him and what he would do in previous, the WWF or whatever you want to call it. But when he came back, it was like
he wasn't the same.
He wasn't the same. He was just like, I'm going to suplex you, I'm going to F5 you, and that's it.
Yeah.
But if he's going to work and he's going to show up and wrestle people, then like, you can. I'll watch him be the dominant champion.
Yeah,
nobody
absolutely.
could beat. Obviously, Seth Rollins, in the spoiler alert, won.
Yeah, he won.
But
he did.
But when you have a guy, when you have a guy that will work like that, when you put Seth Rollins in this type of situation, it pays off better.
Yes.
Like, because I was like, man, he won. Like, we saw he
won. Yeah, we high-fived.
Right, we high-fived. I jumped up the chair. And, because of the way he did it, he wrestled him.
Yeah.
And there was
he reversed out of an F5.
Then he kicked him. Yeah, and then he went for the stomp, and he, had to kick him 2 times, didn't do it. And then I was like, oh, that's it, he's going to win it.
Yeah.
And he, won, and we high-fived.
Yeah.
And I was like, he did it. And it's like, because I didn't believe he would do it.
I didn't think he was going to win either.
Because they kind of just shot his credibility as a
little bit
superstar with the storyline they were running.
Yeah.
But also, I was like, the way Brock Lesnar wrestles nowadays, I was like, he's not going to win unless he does like he did in WrestleMania, where he just gets a quick boom
cheap shot,
and then stomps him 7 times and then wins. But I thought this was a good match, and I think they did a good job for the most part.
Yeah,
he allowed Seth Rollins to work. That's the big thing, because it doesn't matter how good you are as a wrestler, but if you're in the ring with somebody that can't work, it makes you look bad.
Oh yeah, I mean, you got to be very exceptional in order to carry. I mean, because when you use like Roman Reigns as an example, who in my opinion just doesn't work very well. And then you pit him up against somebody who does work really well, like Drew McIntyre, who should be in much bigger matches than what he is.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre does a pretty good job of carrying Roman Reigns through a match.
Oh, well, everybody does a good job of carrying Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Through a match.
But it's still handicapping your ability to really put together something special, So overall, though, this pay-per-view wasn't good.
Oh no.
Let's talk about the incredibly prominent presence of Toronto folk. Nothing against Canada. We love you guys. We do. Okay, I don't want to sound like we're bashing Canada. This is definitely a bash against Vince McMahon.
Yeah,
because he genuinely, it just looks like he tried to use hometown attachment to sell a mediocre pay-per-view
card. Yeah,
yeah.
Like, so, the problem I had with this was, typically, you do try to be smart. You go, okay, well, let's have a couple of people from the hometown get an opportunity for some reason. Not necessarily a title or something, but just have them wrestle. But the thing that worked really well when you would have people from the hometown get an opportunity, it's usually on something like a Raw or a SmackDown.
Right.
They come out and they're like, yeah. And then they're like, well, why don't since we're here in my hometown, how about you put that title on the line right here tonight in Ohio? And everybody goes crazy, and then you do it, and then they lose.
Yeah, usually.
Right. And so it makes it happen. But at a pay-per-view, it's like you just fill it with hometown people for the appeal that nobody cares. Like, they want to see the matches they want to see.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like you thought Natty was going to get a pop. Everybody was cheering Becky.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It does not matter where you are from. When you are popular and you are hot and you are over as a face or over as a heel, that's what the people want to see.
Yes.
And so, even that would be like trying to give Ember Moon a title shot because they were going to be in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, people haven't seen her. They don't care.
Right.
Natalia,
yeah.
I'm going to call her Natalie. Natalia doesn't really work. not saying she can't work as a wrestler, but like she's not out there
Right.
in the mix most
Right.
of the time. She's usually a throwaway. Like she's either getting beat by somebody to get them over to fight Becky or whoever, or whatever the case may be. So this was the first time she really had a chance to work, and it was, I truly believe, only because they were going to be in Toronto.
I think you're right. I agree.
They brought Trish Stratus back. Toronto.
Yeah.
Edge came out there. Toronto.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon. Toronto.
Yeah.
Like this car was built because Toronto is stupid.
No, yeah, it was bad, and like I said, that's definitely a shot at McMahon. I mean, so don't take us as being like anti-Canada. We love you guys. We think you're great, and but it was just it was such a forced issue, and it just didn't go over well because there was just no build up to it. There was no real story there to attach yourself to, and and we were watching. You were right, man. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not like Toronto booed Natalya when she came out. They definitely cheered, but nobody wanted her to win that match.
Yeah, not at all.
I mean, they were like, "Oh yeah, that's our hometown girl," and I go out there and get your ass beat, bitch. I mean, like, they wanted Becky to win because
there was a moment where late in that match. What?
There's a hair stuck on this, and every once in a while it touches my lip. It's okay. It's okay.
There's a point in the match where Natalya puts her in like a sharpshooter after they do like their back and forth, where she put her in the sharpshooter and the disarmer, and then she put her back in the sharpshooter, and it was like, oh shit, she might win this match, and people were like, nobody
wanted her to win.
And I was like, that says a whole lot about who's being portrayed properly and who's being put out there for people to see.
And it's not that Natalya's a bad worker, because she's a good worker. They should have given her a match at the beginning of the thing, or a cool match in the kickoff show or something.
Right.
And nothing against that, man. Like I said, I mean, if Natalya keeps working and she starts building up some momentum and they can maybe give her a push, man, I'm happy for her, because like I said, I'd love to see her really, really or come over, you know what I mean? Really win people over, because she's wrestling, she's wrestling a legacy, she's a legacy,
Right.
And I mean, because she's a third generation.
Mm-hmm.
And she's the first female third generation,
right.
which was, my wife told us that, and I thought, oh, that's pretty interesting. I didn't know that. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to see her win people over and get title push and stuff like that. But it just felt so forced.
Yeah.
Just because of where this pay-per-view was taking place. Anything else you want to hit on, man?
No. I mean, I think all the people that won probably should have. I don't think any titles that changed hands
really surprised me. The only one that surprised me was Seth Rollins.
Yeah, and I think that one was not necessarily for the better, but I think it worked out. I think it will work out.
I think it will work out.
But like, I don't think anybody else should have won. Like, I don't think Bailey should have lost. I don't think.
Yeah.
There
was no reason.
There was no reason. I mean,
no reason.
Maybe for the sake of just putting somebody else in the spotlight, maybe. But other than that, like, I don't feel like there was really a reason or a need to make any of your champions lose.
No.
We didn't have any tag team title defenses on the card as far as like the men's division. We did have
the women
in the kickoff, but we didn't have any tag titles. So, I mean, that's when you start looking at it and you're going, we either have too many titles, or you need to go back to the complete brand split on the pay-per-views, because you had too many people and too many matches and people aren't getting opportunities.
That's probably why they have so many damn pay-per-views now, because they know they can't get through every championship match at the pay-per-view.
Right.
So like the next one, I think the next one,
Clash of Champions.
Is that the next one?
That's what it said.
Okay. So that should, I think that's supposed to be nothing but championships. Yeah. So, we'll probably get, both tag team championships.
That should be the pay-per-view where they do nothing but just unify all the titles.
Yeah, that'd be a good opportunity.
WWE. Raw SmackDown versus SmackDown tag.
Yeah.
SmackDown women's versus Raw women's. Intercontinental versus Cruiserweight.
Oh no! Don't do that, man. I don't want Drew Gulak being the Intercontinental.
No, it's because you go put them all together, and it's just gonna be the United States,
the United Continental Cruiser Champion. That's a nasty title right there. Oh man!
But they just do that. They just unify all the titles.
So
24/7 champion versus the 7-Eleven champion.
This is 7-Eleven. No, the 24/7 champion versus the up down champion.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, the rest of Seth Rollins will be going up against R-Truth.
And if R-Truth wins, then he would be the Universal champion, the up down champion, and the 24/7 champion.
The Universal down.
The Unidown 7.
Oh Lord.
Champion.
What was your match of the night? What do you think?
Probably the end.
I think that's what I'm going to go with too.
The best match, the best technical match, may have been, maybe AJ Styles versus Ricochet.
Yeah, probably.
But like the match that really stood out to me was the last one, and I don't think I would ever say that.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to say that too, but I think that when you take all things into consideration, given who was in the match and just how damn well it went over, that I think you got to give that match of the night. My second would be The Fiend. But
I got a question.
Okay.
Without the belt, Brock really does nothing. Because he doesn't wrestle like on Raw and stuff.
Right.
So what do you, if you taking this angle, you get Seth Rollins to win. What do you do with Brock now?
Hopefully you get more work out of him, I guess. I mean, because I don't think that he's a bad wrestler. I really don't. He's already proven himself that he's very capable in the past. I'm hoping that with the fact that since he's now retired from the UFC, I'm hoping that he wants to maybe almost come back full time. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Like I said, and you said it earlier, I would watch that because he does work good when he works. And so I'm hoping, and I'm thinking maybe hopefully, he'd been like, you know what, I'm kind of tired of these guys saying that I'm kind of one note. Right. I want my legacy to be.
I want to be the very best, like no one ever was.
But yeah, I'm
wanting. Go Bird.
I'm hoping that he maybe he's like, you know what, I don't want my legacy in the WWE to be that.
Yeah.
So maybe he's coming back to reestablish himself as a
beast.
The beast, yeah.
Incarnate.
Yeah. Brock Lesnar.
Wow. Go back. Go back.
Flop of the night. The whole thing. The whole overall. The rest.
Man.
I think I got to go with the Kofi match because of how shitty they ended it. Because
that match didn't really hit. Laying well.
It was doing fine until they did what they did at the end. I was enjoying it because they both work good. They both work really well, and we got to see a dope ass RKO.
Yeah, for a frog splash, RKO. That should have been the match.
Yeah, it was. That was the biggest flop of the night. Was how disappointing that was. And I think we're done. Are we done?
Yeah, I think
got
we're
anything
done.
else you want to talk about? No.
No.
Okay. I really hope we're not forgetting anything. I'm trying to think. There was, outside of the matches themselves, there was some pretty funny little moments, like during the pregame during the pregame show, during the kickoff show. The little.
We have to talk about when they were doing the announcers from all the countries, and then they got to one of the countries, and then it was Carmella and R-Truth.
Yeah, it was.
She was like, "I'm Shania Twain."
Yeah, it was from Canada. They were the Canadian announcers, and she said that she was Shania Twain.
And he said, "I am Dwayne Gretzky." Welcome to the coldest party.
He had a dope ass fro on. Yeah, it was funny. That was funny. That was really funny. And then before that, during the
kickoff
Call
show.
it pregame.
The pre-off show.
The pre-kickoff show. The pregame kickoff show. They had all the announcers were at the table, coachmen and whatnot, and they were talking about stuff. And then they pan out to see. Before that, what's that little guy's name?
Drake,
yeah,
Drake Maverick.
Drake Maverick came out. He had wanted pictures of looking for R-Truth.
Yeah,
and he's like, handing them out, and then he walks away, and they pan back to see that R-Truth and Carmella are sitting underneath the glass front of the desk, eating popcorn. And they pop out and they talk for a little bit and then they walk away. But
yeah, he comes back and then they throw popcorn.
Yeah, they throw popcorn. Yeah, that's right. He comes back and they get through a popcorn fight.
R-Truth and then Carmella trips him and then they run. Carmella is really the reason he's been able to keep that title for as long.
If she had to take a sick day or something, he would lose that belt.
The 24/7 7-Eleven European champion.
So, but yeah, that was some of the side stuff that happened.
Yeah.
There was some, I could have swore that Roman Reigns was supposed to be wrestling tonight, but I guess not.
I guess they're going to run that storyline longer.
I'm not entirely opposed to it, honestly. Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Gives you some mystery, I guess.
Yeah, it's a little something different that they haven't done in a while. Last time I think they did that was when Stone Cold was trying to figure out
Rikishi and all that. To me, this would be a good way to just bring in somebody from NXT. So then you
I think you
would never guess who that was that person because they haven't been called up.
I think it should be EC3. I think it should be fucking EC3.
I'm in the 1%.
Yeah. I'm in the top 1%. So yeah, I think it should be EC3. Fuck it, why not? I think, but you know what? I like the way EC3 works. He's pretty good in there.
If he ever gets to do it.
Yeah, that's very true.
Jeez, he doesn't get to do nothing. He's so buried.
He was the 24/7 champ once.
Yeah,
for like
a lot of people were
10 seconds. Oh man, his title run though, man. That's what you could say. His title run, man. That's it. That's all there is to that.
Who do you think it is?
Who do I think it is? Daniel Bryan. That's my first thought, is that it's Daniel Bryan.
I wonder why it would be him, though.
That's the only thing. See, here's my problem is that there's no obvious person that it should be.
That's probably good, though.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's good.
Because the thing was that he's going to make like a big life-changing announcement, and then he never made it, and then because they had lost the tag titles to the New Day.
Right,
and so I was like, he was kind of like going crazy, so maybe that might be the angle of why they're kind of painting it to be him right now.
Yeah.
Because people will be like, well, he was kind of tripping out after losing those titles, so he might just be trying to take out Roman Reigns because he's crazy.
Yeah.
But
who do you think it is?
I have no idea.
You have no idea?
I have no idea because they ruled out Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
And maybe it's Daniel Bryan. They ruled out Rowan. They didn't really
rule him out,
but he snitched.
Yeah.
It could be multiple people, though.
Yeah.
That would be interesting if it was like a faction.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
And then he finds out it was more than one person. And then it's like...
maybe it's The Fiend.
That would be crazy.
That would be crazy. I don't know. I want it to be EC3. I still want it to be his
want it to be Renee Young.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, man. It's The Rock.
Oh, my God. It's Jason Statham.
It's Jason Statham. All right, guys. Well, you know what? Everybody out there, why don't you guys let us know what you think, what you thought about the pay-per-view itself, what you think, who you think it might be fucking with Roman Reigns, and hit us up on Facebook at Zero Cred Podcast or on Twitter at ZC_podcast. That's it.
That's it. Good day.
All right. Goodbye.